It was stuck. Oh shit. Yeah, where do we eat treats though, dude? Where do we eat treats? Not on the floor. Where do we eat treats? I got you some Shiba meat. Ooh. Oh, let. Yeah, we gotta take that off. Where do you go, little dude? Here he comes. Here he comes. He's coming. He's like, can't you just give them to me on the flow for once? God. Maybe I like little carpet hairs in my Sheba sticks. I'm working on it, little dude. I'm working on it. He's like, maybe call me up here when you've actually got it ready to give me. Shit. Alright. It's coming, little dude. Oh. Oh shit, I think I turned the music off right at the snare. Click. Clicky click. So we got him some Sheba sticks. They actually had Sheba sticks at Wally World. At Wally's World. And he is happy about it. He is happy about doot. What's up? Oh yeah, and I rolled us a blunt for today. My King Crops. I had a pack of King Crops that just disappeared. I was looking so forward to using them things, man, and they disappeared. But I still had a pack of these, to old and not very easy to roll with. But I got it done. So, yeah, my orbs. What are they saying? I'm viewing my orbs, or I'm playing with my orbs, something like that. I got my orbs all tucked away. So yeah, I've been. I meant to get some work done this week, and that did not happen. I whew, man, I got them. I thought I was getting 3 shots at once. I thought that I was getting the um, Pfizer booster, the flu shot, and the pneumonia shot on Tuesday, and I ended up getting the flu shot and the Pfizer booster, and then found out that I got another 3 years before I'm due for another pneumonia shot. So uh, that was good at least, man. But god damn, my my left arm is still a little bit sore, man. But both of my arms were sore for a couple days after that. And Wednesday, I just kind of felt shitty. Not like sick, just like icky shitty, if that makes sense. Um, and then obviously Thursday was Thanksgiving. And so these past 2 days, I've been kind of just um, mental health break, I guess. Um, I'll just leave it at that, mental health break. But I did get a message from Kevin, and he said that I guess Mega Month is going to be extended a little bit this month. He said that he's going to ship our box out. See you later, little dude. He said that he's going to be shipping my box out on Wednesday. And, that's the thing with Don't Eat the Gum. Usually, for most people, or for pretty much everybody except for me, it's pretty much no matter what size box you get, it's out within 2 weeks. But obviously, I've been doing boxes every month for 4 years. And, when he takes pictures of every box that he sends so that he doesn't send you doubles. And, we've been over that before, going through my photos is like a family photo album, big, thick books and shit. So, all of that being said, that I'm still getting a customized personal box within the month. But that's also because he's taken his time to make sure that the box is awesome. And I had the message he sent me pulled up just so I could tell you what he said. He said, "There's a never before seen item that I want to include. It's so up your alley it might get a parking ticket." So I am really super, super psyched to see what that is. And I ordered a couple things I didn't really have money for Black Friday and shit. Well, one thing I found that I still haven't figured out how I'm going to explain this to my dad because what the hell was that? 100, the money that I spent on this was money that I owed my dad and was going to pay him. So I'm going to pay him back still. I just don't know how yet. But I couldn't pass this up because that $300 speed editor for my DaVinci software, this place had an overstock, I'm guessing, like open box kind of thing of them without the software and just the speed editor, which is fine because the speed editor, works with the free version of DaVinci, which I'm already using. So, that's fine. But at any rate, so it was $100. Like, how the fuck am I not gonna? At first, I thought, it's a scam because. Yo, what's up, my dude? At first, I thought it was a scam because it's from this place called Tool Farm that I never heard of, and like I'm trying to research this place, and they're on all the social media and everything, and they got like 15,000 subscribers, but hardly any customer like interaction, if that makes sense. And so I'm like, oh shit, well, okay, I'm better not, this is a scam or whatever. But I kept researching, and these guys have been online for like 20 years, and their SSL security certificates or whatever, all of that stuff checks out and everything. So I thought, fuck it. I'm taking the chance. I know I owe my dad this money and everything, man, but it's the speed editor that I've been drooling over since they released it last year, whenever it was. And I just hadn't been able to budget it in. And so for $100, I'm like, fuck, I've got $100. Yeah, at any rate, so I got the tracking information and everything, so that should be here like Thursday. And I don't know if I'm going to do a video for that or not, just because, I mean, it's an editor. It's an editing controller for the software. But if I do, it's not going to be an unboxing or anything because, yeah, I'm not sure, but I think that it's, like an open box kind of thing. But then let me preface this, that I'm planning to either go in store or order online Wednesday and get that Quest 2. But I went ahead and ordered a couple things on Black Friday because they had good deals on it and the money was just there. But to go with it. So I got a really good deal on the Elite strap with battery, plus a, the Google Chrome, the Chromecast with Google TV. So I got really good deals on both of those things, and I actually got a sort of payment plan on both of those, so they won't have to totally be paid off until January. So I'm not going to do individual videos for that stuff, except that I do plan on doing a video for the Quest 2, except that I'm not going to, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do the unboxing of it or not. But I definitely want to, do a video with it because I fucking love VR. And this is going to make it much easier for me to get the footage and everything like into the switcher and record it and all of that shit for gameplay. So I'm going to at least try out a few things on it. I'm not going to have money until next year to buy any new games or anything like that. But I do already have some games from the Rift S, and I do already have a couple games, but most of those games are on Steam. But most of those games are not safe for work, not safe for working. So I don't know that I'll do any of that. But then there's also a shitload of free stuff on the Oculus store, obviously. So probably the stuff that I'm going to demo will probably be like epic roller coasters. Maybe big screen, because why not? And I definitely want to do some of the walkthrough for that Affected the Manor. As long as that ports over to my Quest, fine. Because I want to show that off to you guys, because Affected the Manor is fucking balls out just awesome. It's only a game by technicality. It's really, it's really a haunted house walkthrough. It's an experience. So that is fucking awesome. And so if I get that Wednesday, then I might just go ahead and try to start making that video on Wednesday, and then that will probably be followed up by Don't Eat the Gum if he's shipping that on Wednesday. then, yeah, we'll pull that around, and when that comes in. And, yeah, I haven't figured out what we're filming for next month, but, we'll film some stuff. And I've still got that Stoney Shaman's Corner episode to edit, and those couple other things that I'm not sure if they're going to come. Oh, yeah, and I did actually edit and finish another one of those quick dab sesh videos and just pulled some music off of YouTube again. But I'm not really that happy about the way that it turned out. So I don't know if I'm going to put that up here or not, just because, that's a whole lot of meh. It's a whole lot of meh. But, yeah, and that's pretty much everything that's going on right now. So, what do you say we pull up my little can of wrap, AK-47, and afterwards I'm going to have to clean this out and repack it, because that hit at the beginning was the very last one, apparently. It is officially, well, I was going to say cash, but it's not really cash money. It's just dead. There's nothing left in there. It's all ash. Ashes to ashes. The bowl is dead. Or whatever. Something like that. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I think my filter tip fell out. Oh, shit. Hold on. Bear with me. Just the tip. Just the tip. Come on, baby. That's what I get for having to use these old-ass goddamn wraps. Get back in there. Get in there. So let's come down to here for the official lighting. Because I don't know why, but fuck it. Oh, shit. That is not pulling great. Oh, shit. And the filter tip just fell back out. Okay, that's better. Oh, shit. This is definitely not the best roll, but, old-ass wraps. I do. Got several packs of these high hemps, but most of these are old too. But high hemps are a fucking nightmare to use with the rolling machine. They just are. Oh yeah, I had some. I had another idea for the OnlyFans. I had another idea for the OnlyFans idea. I thought about opening up, the two additional channels on YouTube, one for political bullshit and one for, more adult entertainment oriented stuff, maybe some erotic stories and just, general sex talks and fun, but I had another idea because I noticed, I was thinking there's some, people with free accounts on OnlyFans. So I thought, what if I just did that and opened up and did all the adult type stuff that I want to do and just do it on OnlyFans for free. Which would give me free range to do a little bit more of, without censorship kind of thing, think, like porn reaction videos, because why the fuck not? I mean, I could technically get away with it just fine because of what do you call it? Fair use laws, commentary, you know, all of that good shit. So, you know, what do you think? Should we do some porn reaction videos? I'm up for that shit. What's up, my dude? Welcome. So yeah, who wants to see some porn reaction? I mean, it's not gonna be don't worry, it's not gonna be anything more than just the, you know, general clothed reaction. Um, but you know, we could have some fun with that. I think that should be fun. Thank you, my dude. You know, I mean, because spoiler alert, if you hadn't figured this out by now, I'm a little bit of a fan of the, you know, of the porn stuff. I like the porn stuff, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. And also, completely forgot to mention this because we're not we're not simul broadcasting today. We're only broadcasting to YouTube. And starting next week, I'm not even going to bother with the Restream software, so we'll just be going directly into YouTube. I mean, you guys watching on here, you'll probably never notice the difference, except that if I'm not using Restream, that means that I won't be able to really put the what do you call it, the music in at the beginning. So probably what I'll do is I'll just start the live stream with me fucking here, and you know, y'all will just have to bear with me as I post the link to social medias and all of that good shit. And I don't know, you know, I'll react to some nude stuff, but I am not exactly, you know, body confident. And all of that shit, or whatever you want to call it. I'm not ashamed of my body, but I'm not body confident either, because, you know, big old gelatin roll. I'm a big old gelatin roll. As a matter of fact, that was one of the things my doctor told me on Wednesday, happy days, whenever the fuck it was. That like, uh, I'm not sure what he meant, but he didn't sound happy about it when he said it. So I don't know, but basically he said that he thinks that the reason I'm losing weight is that I'm like pissing out all of my sugars. And like, that sounds like a good thing, right? But the way he said it didn't make me think so. But you know, I don't know. I don't even know why I'm bringing that up, because it's kind of irrelevant. So I don't know where I was even going with that. But, you know, it's on my mind, so it came out. Um, Honestly, since they told me I was diabetic, I haven't been paying a bit of fucking attention to it, except for taking the metformin. Um, and, you know, I'm still eating my hot cheese sketty and grilled chicken and frozen pizzas and, you know, pancakes and frosty root beer, strawberry soda, Mountain Dew. I do. At least my coffee, I take black. You know, I take my coffee black because um, I don't even know what happened to that. Like, I used to Like, I always have to have sugar and cream in my coffee. And then, like, I went to jail one time, and they didn't have sugar or cream because, they didn't give you that kind of shit because you got milk at dinner but not in the morning. And they wouldn't give you nothing with sugar because they didn't want us making wine, even though people still made wine. But that's a whole nother thing. But, so I started drinking my coffee black in the jail. And, like, you know what? I don't know. I guess I just got used to it. And I'm like, now I don't want sugar or cream because I feel like it takes away from the taste of the actual coffee. But I still won't drink my coffee cold because cold coffee is fucking disgusting. I'm sorry, but it is. And I'd be actually open. Let's go back to porn. Porn reaction. I'd be open to doing joint reactions. Like bringing other people in through like Facebook Messenger or something like that, and reacting to some porn videos together. But it'd be hard. It'd be weird because the audio that I'd have to send them, well, they probably wouldn't be able to hear it. So I don't know. I don't know how that would work, but I don't know. We'll finger it out. If we even go there, because I don't know. I know I could get away with it, but does anybody really want to see that? Oh, well, welcome back, Johnny. Johnny Blaze. Well, just call you Ghost Rider. How's that? Ooh. Ooh. Ghost Rider. Fucking, I was about to go into fucking Transformers with that. I don't know why. Ghost Rider. Drag your ass to hell. I don't know, but I'm probably gonna keep this a fairly short one today. I think I'm just gonna go spend most of my day in VR, to be honest. But right, I've been binging well, I just finished binging the old Spider-Man cartoon from back in the 90s, man. The 90s were amazing for comic book animated movies and shows. I mean, not that the 80s weren't either, but the 80s was like a different thing with Transformers and G.I. Joe and all of that gravy. But with the 90s and the X-Men cartoon and the Spider-Man cartoon, man, Batman the Animated Series was so good that it completely transformed the comic books. Usually it's the show that, has to take from the comic book, and the show's like almost never as good as the comic books are, And like Batman the Animated Series came out, and it was like everything that the fucking comic books should have been. It was so good. It introduced all kinds of new shit into the comic books. It made the comic books end up being more dark and gritty, and characters like Harley Quinn. It was just wow. Yeah. I mean, there was some of them that were, just kind of trash, like the Iron Man cartoon during the 90s was like they made the Mandarin like this green dude, you know, is just, what the fuck is that? You know, I mean, they changed so much core stuff in the Iron Man cartoon and just made it a whole bunch of just, yeah. The Fantastic Four cartoon was a little bit better. I've been watching a couple episodes of the old Hulk cartoon from the 90s, and that was actually a little bit better than I remembered it being. Now, Iron Man is amazing, but the cartoon was just, nah. But, you know, I hear you, folks. The comic books, you know, in my opinion, Tony Stark is was a pretty compelling character, in the whole arc of his story, you know, because he's an asshole. He's an arrogant asshole that always does the right thing at the end of the day. Well, until he went dark, kind of. But, you know, that's a whole nother wave and a whole nother ocean. It's kind of like the way that the old school Hulk was so compelling to me, because Hulk was really the compelling of compelling, at least in the beginning, because before he really learned to start controlling it, well, control it better, I guess, you know, in the beginning, where in the old days where he had very little control over it at all, you know, and the whole thing was, you know, okay, he's ramping up, he's gonna go get the fucking bad guys. Oh shit, he's on a rampage and all the bad guys are gone now. What the fuck is next? And the only person that could get him to calm down was Betty, you know, and that influence that Betty had on him to use that rage for the good, you know. Yeah, it was just, there's a whole, you know, deep, compelling level to the Incredible Hulk, or the old school Incredible Hulk, that, you know, yeah, it just really, really draws me in. But the absolute most compelling to me, in my favorite of all comic book groups of superheroes, and, you know, all of that, is the X-Men. You know, the X-Men are the outcasts who come together for the betterment of everybody, including the people that hate them. That, you know, the X-Men were about inclusion before inclusion was cool. You know, the X-Men were, you know, my group of nerd and drama club friends lunch table. Sort of, if that makes sense, you know. Again, before all of that stuff was really cool, at least in the mainstream. I mean, it was always cool to us, but, you know, I remember a time when, you know, calling somebody a nerd was a fighting word, you know, like, you fucking nerd, motherfucker, I will fight you, you know. Now it's like, man, you're a fucking nerd. Like, thanks, you know, I am a nerd. Well, I don't know. I think, in a sense, Wolverine is overrated. I mean, it's not that he's not badass, because he is, but, hey, little dude, there's just been so much focus on Wolverine over the years that it felt like it underscored a lot of characters that are way more compelling and way more powerful than he is, like Legion. Or even Cable. Oh yeah. Fuck yeah, I did. That shit was fucking dope. Nerds! Side note, I do believe that Ogre has a bar in Chicago. um, I've never been to Chicago, so I've never seen it, but that's what I heard through the grapevines and shit. But Cable was always, my favorite. I mean, technically, Cable was X Force, but whatever, Steve. Um, yeah. But Cable, though, because the thing with Cable is, I mean, he's kind of taken from the time that he's born and then thrown into this future time, and then taken by Apocalypse and injected with this techno virus and spends the vast majority of his power because Cable is, make no mistake, Cable is like an Omega level mutant. But he spends so much of his power just fighting the techno virus throughout his run, that I mean, it's in, and at the same time, and then you find out all that stuff about Jean Grey and the Jean's clone, and all of that shit, and up to the Executioner's song, right? The Executioner's song was sort of my introduction to Cable, and it was so badass because there you have Cable trying. Spoiler alert to the if you haven't read or know about the Executioner song, spoiler alert. But you have what you think is Cable try to assassinate Xavier, and then everybody goes. Xavier's in a coma, and everybody goes looking for Cable, including Wolverine, and then Wolverine takes, gets up on the ship with Cable, and it's they go through this big thing, and then they find out that it's actually Strife that attempted to assassinate Xavier, and Strife is Cable's clone, but free from the technovirus. And so, they get into this big thing and story arc. It was like 12 issues long or something like that. And then, Mr. Sinister gets involved and quickly gets uninvolved. And Apocalypse gets his ass handed to him by Strife. To be fair, Apocalypse was in his rest period. He was basically, it was his recharge cycle. And so Strife actually wakes him up and just punches the shit out of him like, oh shit, Apocalypse just got knocked the fuck out. It was fucking crazy. And the whole thing ends with this, epic bat showdown between Cable and Strife. And in order to stop him, Cable basically tackles Strife into a portal into the time stream. And what you think happens, at least right away at the end of that storyline, is that Cable and Strife are both just like lost to time, kind of like you thought Mary Jane was in the Spider-Man cartoon, but then they released the Cable as a series. There was a Cable miniseries before this, but this was the debut of the actual series for Cable. And Cable comes back, and then what you find out is that Cable and Strife had merged somewhere in there. So every once in a while, Cable loses control and becomes Strife. And then you find out that Strife was Nathan Summers, son of Jean Grey, and Scott Summers. And then they retcon that later so that Cable is still Nathan Summers. It's extremely confusing and convoluted, but it was dope. Um, yeah, I mean that's a big part of it. Plus, he has that big energy mace. I mean that fucking mace that Strife has, will take down like huge buildings, plural, at with a single strike. I mean it's insane. And there was also was it? I think they just called him Nate Gray, that I believe from the Ultimate Universe, that they introduced eventually, who was just like God level power, because he's got all the telekinesis and everything of his mother, and you know, yeah, I mean, it's just it's insane. Still not as Omega level as Legion. Legion is a whole nother fucking can of worms in in multiple ways. I mean, Legion is so almost literally a can of worms, or at least his mind is. But yeah, if it wasn't for the technovirus, Cable would have been so much more powerful than he already was. But I want them to do that story in the MCU, but I doubt that they ever will. Legion is David. I forget what his last name is in the comic books, but it's was it Holler? Something like that. Anyway, he is the son of Charles Xavier, and if you they did a Legion show on FX a while back, and it was amazing. But the show is like their own universe, Legion, and there's really only 3 of the characters. Yeah, that shit looks dope. I believe only like 3 or characters or something from the Legion show actually came from the comic books, because obviously when Xavier does pop up in the show, obviously he's from the 616. And then there's also the Shadow King. The Shadow King is the main, what do you call it, I guess, the main bad guy, sort of, throughout the entire run of the show. And, the Shadow King is fucking bad. The Shadow King. You don't fuck with the Shadow King, And, who was the other one? There was somebody else that, I know for sure was in the comic books. I can't think of right off the top of my head. But, basically the show Legion was kind of its own thing. Except that they did have one alternate universe episode where they explored Davids from different universe, and in a blink and you miss it moment, they actually show David from assumingly the 616 with his hair spiked up and like sitting on a big chair with a glass, drinking that wine or whatever the fuck he was drinking, but I mean, that shot might have been like 3 frames of the entire episode. I mean, it was literally a blink and you miss it moment. But Legion, what's the best way to put it, is Legion sort of has the everything or anything power. I mean, he can end entire timelines with a single thought and a snap of his fingers. If it wasn't for himself, David would own every universe or destroy any universe that he didn't want, except that he's, he's basically insanely, I guess pun intended, schizophrenic, multiple personality schizophrenic, and every yeah, there's a lot. Basically, I mean, there is the X-Men, between X-Men, X-Force, and X-Factor and all of that shit, there is so much shit out there to learn, especially when you consider how long the comic books have been running. That was almost a disaster when Stan Lee created them until Chris Claremont came in. But, that's a whole nother thing. Well, I mean, he's Xavier's son. I mean, and his mind is just so much more powerful than his father's that, he went flaming mad. And this is the thing about Legion, though, is that every personality has its own set of powers and mutant abilities. So every time David develops a new personality, he gains a new superpower. And, I've heard, some people say that they think, that he's developing like, hundreds of personalities every single minute or something. I don't know if it's that far. I don't know if they ever even really specified that anywhere in the comic books or anything, but he's always developing new personalities, like thousands upon millions of different personalities. So if there's any power that, exactly, that he doesn't already have, he could he could create a new personality in his head and then develop that power through that personality. The show really does dig in, a lot to how powerful he really is. And the show is really fucking weird. And even though it's, so completely different than the 616, right? And, it's, your first instinct is to, want it to be David from the 616, but the show is so beautiful, and, David is so badass that, you gotta love it. You had to love it. It was fucking beautiful. Kind of. I mean, it's not to say that Legion is the most powerful being out there. It may be the most powerful mutant, but, that's that. If it wasn't for his own craziness, because Legion was always doing a lot of really big things with really great intentions and then fucking everything up. Because, like the Age of Apocalypse, Legion was completely responsible for the Age of Apocalypse because he went back in time to try to kill Magneto, and then ended up killing Professor Charles Xavier. And so, with Charles being dead in the past, then Apocalypse rises to power and takes over like everything. So, in a nutshell, Legion's worst enemy is himself, and he's always standing in his own way and in the way of his own mission. So, if it wasn't for how crazy he was, then, or unstable he is, however you want to word that. Oh shit, somebody's on the rooftop and I'm not even paying no attention. But he could potentially be a god. Or a god in flesh. Something to those effects. Hold on, little dude. I'm trying to get you in frame. And then I'll bring you up. There you go. What's up, little dude? I mean, hi. But yeah, whoa, refresh. Yeah, but, there's nobody in the MCU. There is obviously, I guess, nobody more powerful than the one above all. Uh, but, I mean, that's basically, if the MCU was what's good, little P? Oh, I done got you in frames, and now you're gonna run off. I see how you is. uh, see you later, jerk. But yeah, it's just Legion is probably one of the most powerful beings out there. I mean, it may be even on the level of, I don't know. I was gonna say somebody like the Living Tribunal, but that's a really hard sell. I think Legion is probably a lot better, a lot more powerful than Galactus. I don't know. That's purely my opinion, speculation, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, I think Legion could probably take out Galactus fairly easy. But, if he took out Galactus, what would unfold for the rest of the universe if, I don't know. Right? He's like, I didn't tell you I wanted to be on camera again. I can't get no privacy around here. God! I mean, now. I think Legion has been in the Ghost Rider comic books, but I don't know. I'm not a. I'm far from being a comics expert. I didn't read all of them, and Ghost Rider wasn't one really that I even read regularly. But I did dabble in a little bit of Ghost Rider, but. I read X-Men comics more than any of the other comics. And I did, you're right, I did read some of the Superman and Batman stuff. I wasn't too big on the DC side, but I read some of it. But I do remember reading all of the, like the Death of Superman and then the Reign of Superman story afterwards. I thought the Reign of Superman was actually a little bit more compelling than the Doomsday story in the Death of Superman, but. But that's me, man. This whole fucking blunt is just falling apart. But that's alright. There ain't hardly nothing left to it anyway. But I want I really, really want the MCU to do a take on the Executioner song series. Like I was talking to my sister on Thanksgiving, and she said, well, because she's a big comic book. As a matter of fact, I would trust her input on stuff in the comic books way more than mine. She is way more educated on the comic books than I am. Oh shit, your other comment's not coming on here for some reason. The movie is just badass. Fuck Nick Cage and Sam Elliott and their transformations was so fucking cool to me as a kid. Yeah. Um, I enjoyed the Nick Rider, the Nick Cage Ghost Rider. Um, it wasn't the best of comic book adaptations, but did I bring that up there? I don't even fucking know. But um, you know, it was a movie. It was worth the time sitting down to watch, but it wasn't the Ghost Rider I was expecting because, like reading the little bit of Ghost Rider comics as I did um, back in the, many, many, many moons ago, like, about 30, 40 years ago, whatever. It was, well, I guess about 30 plus years ago. We'll just say at 30 plus years ago. Um, it was, so tamed, I guess. It was kind of like the way that those couple Punisher movies were before the Netflix series. They were okay, they were decent, but it was like, it's not the Frank Castle you really remember. Um, the Netflix series was good. I thought the Netflix Punisher series was fucking great, but there's was talks that they were going to introduce Ghost Rider in that until the merger happened and Disney bought everything back, and then Netflix canceled all of those series. But the Netflix Marvel stuff was very hit or miss. So, that could have, I mean, I think in the long run that was a good thing. But, it looks like Marvel is bringing, or Disney, whatever, is bringing those characters back to the MCU now. As a matter of fact, there's a, oh, you good, my dude. I'm all over the place. I'm always all over the place. So, fit right in here. But, there's a rumor that Kingpin might be showing up really, really soon. Um, I don't want to say where because I don't want to give spoilers. But, there's a rumor that Kingpin might be showing up a lot sooner than we thought. And it is the same dude from the Netflix Daredevil. And there's rumor that Charlie Cox might be returning soon as Daredevil. Well, it looks, like 100, that's happening. But, yeah, so I'm really, really excited. I hope that they bring Punisher into the MCU, but don't water it down. Do like Fox did with Deadpool and the Logan movie. Let it be an R-rated adult feature because that's what Punisher is. And they need to, if Ghost Rider pops up into the MCU, they need to treat Ghost Rider the same way. And we know that they're going to be doing Deadpool 3. So, Disney is going to have to branch out into this more, TVMA, R-rated, whatever, territory. And I don't know why there's even been any, debate about that because exactly like the old Blade movies, with Wesley Snipes, those were fucking gravy, baby. And the Deadpool movies were amazeballs. Both of them. But, speaking of cable, that Deadpool 2 was the shit. But, we have parental controls on, like everything now. And it's super easy for Disney Plus to just, put a parental feature, whatever, onto their app So if you've got small ones that you don't want watching that kind of stuff on the Disney Plus app, you know, just use the parental filter and filter it out so that they don't see it. And yeah, but you know, and that's the other thing is that, you know, they're supposed to be bringing Blade back too. So if they're bringing Blade back, you know, that's another one that, you know, you can't water it down. You really can't. It's like Wolverine in, you know, in, you know, some of those movies and the old animated series where he's not really killing anybody, you know. And shut the hell up, man. My phone is going off. But you know, Wolverine in the comic books, you know, be slicing some motherfuckers up. You know. And so they watered Wolverine down dramatically in pretty much all of the adaptations aside from Logan. Yeah, they do. Right. Well, and they also own Hulu. And they've got plenty of R-rated mature stuff on Hulu. So they could also just, you know, do the adult stuff and put it on Hulu. But for me, I mean, I think it's kind of doing that is kind of diluting your own product, you know, and doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you can put it all in one place. But, you know, they've got other Marvel series on Hulu right now that are kind of like outside of the MCU or MCM, I guess now, since it's the multiverse. Um, right, yeah. Well, I mean, they watered Sabretooth the fuck down in the animated series, too. Not that it wasn't still amazing, but, you know, they watered it down. Uh, but, you know, yeah, they have on Hulu, they have the Modoc series. I mean, the Modoc series is basically parody, but, you know, it's funny as shit with Patton Oswalt playing Modoc. Uh, and now there's a new one with Jason Sudeikis of called Hit Monkey, and I've watched the first couple episodes, and Hit Monkey is it's crazy. It's cray cray. I dig it. You know, I really do. I dig it. And I'm, you know, but I'm waiting to see the Eternals because I don't know nearly as much about the long history of the Eternals and the Celestials and all of that. I know like this tiny little bit, and you know I watch a bunch of stuff on YouTube to try to catch me up, and you know places like Everything Always, Emergency Awesome, Den of Nerds, um, what the Nerdist, Looper. There's a few other ones that I can't think of them all, but you know. Um, oh, Geek Culture Explained. You know, that dude is fucking awesome. Uh, but, you know, yeah, so there's a lot of good places to go. But, you know, I'm really, really anxious to see the Eternals. And, uh, you know, I've heard a lot of really bad things about the Eternals, but my sister said the Eternals was good. And if there's one thing that I trust my sister and value my sister's opinion on, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a lot of things that I trust her opinion on. But if there's one thing only that I can trust her opinion on, it's comic book based movies. 100%. She knows her shit. And, you know, she can be really hard to please sometimes with that stuff. Well, you know, that's what's so great about them finally going there in the MCU because, you know, the comics have been diving into the multiverse for decades. like literally decades and generations now. And it only made sense to bring that to film, and they started toying around with that in the 90s. Both DC and Marvel toyed around with that. But it kind of, ended up falling apart. And that was all like, what do you call it? Animated stuff. Like Batman the Animated Series, and then the Justice League series, and, they tried to put out several things to, bring it all together. And, but Spider-Man, the animated series, literally ended with a multiversal battle. Well, it was the Spider-Man cartoons version of Secret Wars. That was another thing I talked to my sister about recently. Was the Secret Wars, and how every version of Secret Wars is completely different from the last. Even in the comic books, they did in the Marvel comic books, they did the Secret Wars twice. And it was completely different both times. Well, now there's, especially now, there's some other good stuff in DC. Darkseid is, one of my favorite villains in DC. And the Joker, but to be fair, any of the Jokers, and I like, I've never been that huge of a Robin fan, but, I think Robin's backstory is very compelling. And I think that Batman's backstory is compelling. And, I think that they're similar stories, or at least the original, what was his name? Dick Grayson, the original Robin, was so lined together and similar that, they were a natural duo. Tom Holland, the new one, is 100. Yeah, absolutely, because he was and Mark Hamill did the Joker throughout the run of the Batman the Animated Series, and Mark Hamill as the Joker is the best Joker, and there's been some amazing Jokers, of course, Jack Nicholson, that goes without any questions or argument, or doubts about it, whatever you want to say. And Heath Ledger was amazing, and what's his name? I always forget his fucking name. That did the standalone Joker movie recently. Joaquin Phoenix? Something to that, Amazing. But nobody holds a candle to Mark Hamill's voiceover, I mean, Mark Hamill did that role just as the voice and beat out everybody else. It's kind of like Andrew Lincoln beat out the entire cast of The Walking Dead just with his eyes. Yeah. Yeah, Joaquin was fucking amazing. Or Jacqueline, however you pronounce it. I think it's Joaquin or Raheem or something like that. But it was different. It wasn't afraid to go outside of the established lore for the Joker, and really, really played with it and did an amazing job. Yeah, I mean, that's why it didn't come up for whatever reason. And I always am. Not really, but I'm not always right. But I am in this instance, you know. Um, but, you know, still, Darkseid is probably my favorite, one of my favorite villains in the DC universe just because, you know, there's not much you can do, especially with the, what do they call it, the anti-life equation or whatever. You know, they were like just starting to get into that with the Justice League movie, and then what's it, Warner Brothers or whoever owns those goddamn rights, you know, they just snatched it up right after they released the Snyder Cut. Like, you had something good there, and you know, you're gonna go back to shows on the CW and shit, you know, like what the fuck. You had a chance, you know, and you fucking blew it. Marvel got with Kevin Feige, however you pronounce it, you know, Kevin Feige. We'll just say Kevin Feige, Feige sticks, Fig Newtons, you know. And you know, they did the Iron Man and the Hulk movie, and then you know, the rest is kind of, as they say, history, you know, and there, you know, it's an amazing formula because dude knows what the fuck he's doing, you know. And I really felt that way about Zack Snyder too, you know. He really dug into source material, dug deep, and then tried to, you know, do his own thing with it while still honoring and acknowledging the source material to go into some, you know, a lot better, more compelling stories than, you know, the DC, the multiple DC houses, whatever, studios, whatever, tend to like to do, you know. And that's why I was always such a bigger fan of Marvel growing up, because when I was a kid, it's a lot more different now, but when I was a kid, it was like, you know, DC was very black and white, in the sense that here's good, here's bad. You know, Batman had a little more gray, but not really. You know, he spends his life trying to get back and, you know, make things right by putting away the people that killed his parents. You know, it's pretty cut and paste, honestly. I mean, it's compelling, but it's still cut and paste, you know. I mean, whereas with Marvel, you've got a lot of villains like Doc Ock and the Lizard. You know, I mean, DC, well, I guess DC did have Harvey Dent and, you know, a few people like that too, but there was a lot more gray area in Marvel. Yeah, you know, and you know, I mean, and heroes too, like the Hulk. You know, like we were talking about with the Hulk earlier. You know, because in the old days, at least, you know, Hulk would go on a rampage, and yes, he'd take out the bad guys, but then he might level an entire city in the process. You know, and it was really hard for Bruce Banner to control that. You know, and so it was a struggle, you know, as much as anything. And the X-Men, you know, in the fight against xenophobia and prejudice and everything, you know, is just, yeah, Harvey Dent was absolutely. And yeah, and obviously, man, Planet Hulk was one of the most amazing stories ever told. 100, especially, like, I've got the animated rendition of it, the cartoon movie that they did some years back, and you know, like Beta Ray Bill comes in, and you're like, oh shit, and then, you know, Hulk does battle with Beta Ray Bill. I think that was Planet Hulk. Yeah. Then you know, I mean, it was just, the MCU toyed around with Planet Hulk, was it, I think, during Endgame, but they didn't really go into Planet Hulk, and it's like they kind of just like brushed over it gently and quickly. Uh, which is fine, I guess. But, Planet Hulk was an amazing story. No, because, I didn't. I had the GameCube, but I only had a couple games for it because I mainly just bought the GameCube for stuff like, Tiger Woods, just because it was a lot easier to swing the ball or swing the club without slicing the ball on the GameCube controller than it was the PlayStation controller. But I also had a PlayStation 2, and that's where I played most of my like sports and wrestling games and stuff like that. And so I mainly just used the GameCube for that and Tiger Woods and like Mario Party and Mario Kart, stuff like that. Uh, but uh, you know, but I suck at like action and uh, puzzle type games and stuff. Like hell yeah, um, you know. So on the PlayStation 2, I had like the AR Max. What was it? It was I had all three of them. It was AR Max, Game Shark, and Codebreaker. I had all three of those for the PlayStation 2. And so I could play games like Grand Theft Auto and X-Men Legends and stuff like that because, I had a cheat disc and I could just kind of brush through most of it and actually enjoy the game. And I stopped playing those games with the PlayStation 3 came out because they fixed it so that, those cheat discs wouldn't work anymore. Yeah, I've got a GameCube right now. The only games I think I have for it is Mario Party and something else. But I've also got a bunch of games for the Wii or the Wii U. Well, the Wii and the Wii U. Um, yeah, the my yeah my brain not so function. But I've got right now. I have a PlayStation 2. I got a PlayStation 1 and a PlayStation 2, but the PlayStation 1 just sits in the closet because the PlayStation 2 will play the PlayStation 1 games. But I've got that. I've got a GameCube. I've got a Wii U. Um, I've got the Switch. I've got a Xbox One S. Um, I don't have a PS3 or a PS4 anymore, and I don't have a PS5 or the new Xbox. Um, but it seems like, oh yeah, I've got a PS Vita and a 3DS XL and something else. I'm forgetting something, but I always do. Yeah, Mario Party was super fun. As a matter of fact, it was my ex. I had a live-in ex-girlfriend. I want to say around probably 2006, 2007, and basically I was living with mom and dad, and mom and dad agreed to let her come stay with us, and because there was, I'm not going to tell her business, whatever, but there was some issues, and she needed a place to stay, and so she came and stayed with us. Um, so, and yeah, the GameCube is fucking great, and that old ass console is still holds up great. But so I got a GameCube and Mario. I think it was Mario Party 6 or 7, something like that, on the GameCube with the GameCube when I got it, and you know, because that was something that me and her could sit there and play together. She didn't want to play like my wrestling and Tiger Woods and stuff like that, much less my basketball or my Madden or any of that stuff. But Mario Party was something that me and her could play together, and so she got me really, really into that shit, and you know. I haven't really looked back since because Mario Party is fucking gravy, baby. Mario Party is gravy. Mario Kart is too. But, Mario Kart would probably start a few more fights than Mario Party. It was whichever version of Mario Party came with the microphone. And I have that version with the microphone still right now. As a matter of fact, it's sitting over there somewhere. But, great game. And a lot of people, almost everybody, hated on the, the Mario Party 10 for the Wii U? Or was it Mario? No, it was Mario Party 10, yeah, for the Wii U. And, that had the gamepad stuff, and you could actually play as Bowser and stuff. Almost everybody hated on that game, but I fucking loved it. Right? For me, the replay value is through the roof. I can play that shit over and over and over, even if I'm just sitting here playing by myself, It takes forever sometimes, but, it's fun. Yeah, I think that was one of the versions. There's been a lot of Mario Karts over the years. And I've got several of them. But the Mario, I think it was the Mario Party 10, actually, yeah, it had the Ambio mode. As a matter of fact, I can show you, hold on a sec. 1 second. All right, bear with me here. And let's switch down here. I actually went out and hunted down some of these because I wanted to have all of them. Went out and got every single one of these amiibo or amiiblo, whatever you want to call them. Figures. You got Donkey Kong, and who just fell on the floor. Get up here, Yoshis. And oh yeah, and of course Mario and Luigi. Yo, what's poppin'? What is poppin', son? Oh shit. Yeah, that's how much I enjoyed Mario Party 10. That, there was a mode where you could, you'd put the bottom on the gamepad, and it would so it would recognize the amiibo, and then you could, yeah, they were for Mario Party, the amiibos, whatever you call them, for Mario Party 10. You would basically, you'd scan them on the gamepad, and then it would appear on a little board. It was like a little side mode that was just a board, like a square board that you would go around and play. It was like a whole new board for Mario Party. And, a lot more basic, but like really, really, really fun. And yeah, so... But you had to have the amiibos in order to unlock each character. So I went out and I bought all of them, and I spent so much time, me and Timmy G number 2, we spent a lot of time playing that little side version of Mario Party on 10, using the amiibos and stuff because it was just so much fucking fun. And it was I paid, I think, like maybe $5 to $10 a piece for each one of those. And so that is that's a few bucks laying down there right there. But I think it was worth every penny of it because of the enjoyment we got out of it playing that mode. yeah, so, Mario Party 10 got so much hate, and I fucking loved it. I fucking loved it. That being said, um, what is it? The new one, the Super Mario Party on the Switch. That one is, yeah, I'll say it's a lot better than Mario Party 10. But I still feel like Mario Party 10 was awesome. Hell yeah, I've never done Fortnite. Right? I'm always down to play some fucking Mario Party, I think. Uh, I mean, I thought about if I had a bigger place, hosting like actual Mario parties. If I had a bigger place, I would probably I would probably go ahead and do that. If anybody actually wanted to come out and play. But uh, it'd be like Dungeons and Dragons every week, except instead of Dungeons and Dragons, it'll be Mario Party. Or maybe that or Mario Kart, maybe switch off and, change it up a little bit. Hell yeah, man, you definitely should. Um, Mario Party is I mean, it's exactly what it sounds. It's a party game, you know, and you can play it by yourself against the computer. It's really designed to play with friends, but you can, play it by yourself. You can always play with yourself if you really want to. I mean, that's up to you. Uh, I do. I play with myself most of the time, Seriously, on Mario Party, I do. I play by myself most of the time. Uh, but me and Timmy G number two, we had a lot of fun on it though. It is a really great social party game. Better, honestly, in my opinion, and this is coming from a musician or a former musician, whatever you want to call it. Um, better than Guitar Hero or Rocksmith if you want to talk about a real guitar simulation game. But yeah. Hell yeah. NSFW. But yeah, the Mario Party was fucking great. Is great because Super Mario Party on the Switch is awesome, and I don't have all of the Mario parties for the GameCube, unfortunately, because the those discs are like I think $50 to $60 used. I think it's Mario Party 7, the one with the microphone. Um, I bought that copy of it for the GameCube. You know, after the Switch was released, and I don't think Super Mario Party had dropped yet, but it was about to drop. But I still wanted to go back and get some of the old ones. But that much longer after of it, two entire more generations of consoles with the Wii and the Wii U, and that game is still selling used for like 55, $60. So I wasn't able to go back and buy all of the old Mario parties for the GameCube, unfortunately, and I don't have a Nintendo 64, so I can't really get the original. And I do have a couple, I think, for the 3DS, the 3DS XL. Um, I got a couple games I've only got a couple games for the PlayStation Vita. I've still got it. I don't have it out. I've got it's buried in a box somewhere because that's how much I use it. But I got the PlayStation Vita and like 2 or 3 games, I think. And I was like, I'm kind of done with this. Yeah, honestly, the thing I remember most about the Nintendo 64, or the game I remember the most, even though, you could get this game on pretty much any console at that time, was Blitz. You know, we would sit there and play the fuck out of some Blitz, baby. It was, Blitz was cray cray. Blitz was extremely cray cray. But I did play the what was it, the Golden Eye a little bit on the N64, but I guess shooter games are really hard to. Although I will say it was easier on the N64 than it was on other consoles because that trigger button, like right on the back of the N64 controller, just something about that just like felt right, and so yeah. Uh, but I'm gonna actually try a couple shooters when I get my Quest 2, um, because it's hard to do on the Rift S because the cord. You can't. It's hard to turn around and rotate around 360 degrees with that big ass cord hanging from the headset. But yeah, that's probably the one that I'm thinking about. Uh, I don't think so. I played a bunch of the Simpsons one, but yeah, honestly, the controllers for the Rift S, and I'm gonna say probably the Oculus Quest 2's controllers too, because they're almost exactly the same. Um, those controllers really feel right, but of course they are VR controllers, so um, I'm really interested to see how a shooter is gonna feel, with that Oculus controller. Because it does have that trigger like right there. Uh, so that could be a lot of fun. But I mean, I still suck at these like action strategy type games. Even the Exorcist game, I got through like that first thing and then just completely fell apart because um, if I spend more time frustrated than having fun, then it's just not really fun. Uh, but that being said, I'm sure that there's a single player type shooter that I could try out for free. So I'm gonna look into. So I will look into that. But you know, yeah. The a lot of people are. I've heard a lot of people, uh, try out VR one time and then just like done with it because it was, yeah, just it wasn't. Hold on, wait, what was that? Oh, an ad. But yeah, that's why I don't bother with half of those games because you know there's no cheat discs anymore. Like in Grand Theft Auto, um, you can pause and then start entering in cheat codes, but one of the buttons always ends up being the start button, and then you unpause in the middle of trying to enter in that code. I can't memorize it that quick and just bust out all of these commands like super fast like that. Uh, so it's just it's no good for me. It's not fun. Um, but there's there's a lot of great stuff that you can do on the Quest, or well, I'll say the Rift S because I haven't gotten my Quest 2 yet, but you know, it's close enough kind of thing. But you know, there's so much great stuff, and there's so much free stuff to be had and cheap stuff. You know, there's a shitload of free games on Steam, and there's a shitload of like little 99 cents and $5 games on Steam. You know, Steam has a lot of great games anywhere between free and like 50, $60. And you know, unlike the Oculus store, Steam does have a few, well, a bunch of NSFW type games. But you do have to make sure that they're VR compatible because Steam has like flat 2D games and virtual reality games. Yeah, Steam has got a lot of good shit. That being said, so does the Oculus store. And, you know, one really nice thing, which was one of the driving, actually, well, one of several driving factors to me buying the originally the Gear VR and the Oculus Go, was watching movies in VR. Unfortunately, both the Gear VR and the Oculus Go really hurt my nose because there just wasn't much padding around that part. But you know what I was going to say earlier, I got kind of rambled on from, but is a lot of people try VR once and then give up on it because they try it on mobile VR, or what I mean is like the Google Cardboard or one of the other like cheap headsets where you just put your phone inside. And the Gear VR was like that too, which was my first one, except that the Gear VR was a more professional version of that, if that makes sense. And it was, compared to today, it was extremely limited. Well, even back then, compared to like the Oculus Rift and the Vive, what was it, the Vive something, you know. But both of those, you know, compared to either one of those, it was extremely limited. But I digress. Mobile VR is so limited and so frustrating. And, you know, if you don't have a controller programmed for your phone, you have to, you know, like you'll have to do stuff like take the phone out of the headset, pull up what you want, a video or whatever, and then pop it back in. And, you know, it's my experience using anything other than Gear VR for, you know, phone-based VR has been terrible. Just terrible. But the Gear VR was awesome for the time, for what I had, you know. And then the Go, for its time, was amazing. It was the first real standalone headset. You know, it was still limited to, yeah, it's extremely disappointing. You know, but like the stuff we can do now with, well, that I'm doing now with the Rift S, and will soon, hopefully, be doing with the Quest 2, is just so many light years ahead of that. I mean, there's just no way to say that enough. There is a, yeah, Gear VR was great. You know, I've still got my Gear VR headset. It's sitting in the closet, but and I've still got the phone that I used with it too, probably in that same closet. But you know, it's just miles ahead, and it's going even further. You know, I mean, VR is not dying. It's not dying at all. I don't know where the fuck people in the media get that shit from. But, VR is far from dying. And I don't like Facebook, Meta, whatever. I don't like the idea of them having so much control over it. But at this point, it kind of is what it is, and I don't think that their stranglehold on it is going to last, but so long. I think it was Thrill Seeker was talking about, kind of let them don't, try to jump ship and boycott them and not enjoy VR because you're going to be missing out. And in the meantime, let them build the metaverse or, let them build the technology to get VR to where we really, really want it to be. And then, support the competition that comes up out of that. I know there's, it's complicated because Facebook has a very long history of buying out and undercutting their competition. But that doesn't mean that it's going to always happen that way. But, I fucking love VR. And as a matter of fact, I'm thinking about trying some new stuff because I think I talked a little bit about this last week, but I don't remember, so I'm just going to do it again. But I'm sort of considering the VR headset as sort of a medical device, definitely a therapy device, because I'd also do a lot of guided meditations and hypno type videos and stuff on the Rift S. Well, sometimes on the go too, because the nose thing isn't too bad if I'm laying down. But those and the thing that keeps me from doing a lot of stuff standing up is the cord. Because I can't stand but for so long, but it makes it harder to do anything standing up when I got this big fucking cord attached to my damn headset. It's trying to hold me, that cord is trying to hold me down, but if I can do more experiences and apps like the Affected the Manor, the haunted house walkthrough, if I could do more stuff like that standing up just a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, that's going to help me over time, at least burn a few calories by holding my fat ass up. And also it's going to help slowly build muscle in my leg to help me stand for longer periods. You know how that shit works. But, because the physical conditioning right now, baby, I am in bad shape, just 100. I am in bad shape, and so every little bit helps, and I fucking love VR, and I almost, if it wasn't for anything else in VR, I think I'd almost be ready to buy the headset or the new headset, even just for Affected the Manor, because that app is the shit. That is, yeah. I wish I could pull my old Face Your Fears purchases and Epic Roller Coasters purchases from my Oculus Go to the new headsets, because I bought all of the experiences in Face Your Fears, and I bought all of the roller coasters in Epic Roller Coasters. And I thought that stuff was going to carry over when I got my Rift S, but it didn't. And I never went back and rebought any of it. So I'm going to wait to get my Quest 2, and then when I've got the money to do it, I'll do it over again, because, like I said, I'm not going to be able to afford no games at least until next year. But I highly recommend, if you've got any type of store or anything around that has a good VR demo type thing going on, like some of the stores will have a little area on the side where you can try out an Oculus Quest or, whatever they have. Like they do with the video game consoles sitting in the middle of the aisle. Shit like that. It's different with the Quest, obviously. But if you can find one of those around you, man, I highly, highly recommend going and trying it out, because good VR is amazing. It really is. And let me wet in my little throat box. I'm getting a little hoarse back here. What time is it? Yeah, it's almost 3 o'clock. So, I guess I'm gonna wrap it up. And I'm sorry, I'm not gonna make a fresh pack. Well, I don't know. I might be able to get one more Toke out of this before it dies. So, I'm gonna try to hit this one more time, and then I guess I'm gonna roll on out. But yeah, I definitely highly, highly recommend that shit. Like I said, I haven't tried the Quest 2 yet. But, it's obviously a lot better than the Rift S. And the Rift S is amazing, even with the fucking piece of shit, long-ass, goddamn heavy cord constantly being tangled and shit. Even with that, the Rift S is amazing. Yeah. That was it. I'm sorry. But cheers, my dude. So yeah. All right, yeah, so like I said, I'm planning to get back to work this week and try to get that Stoney Shaman's Corner up, and I'll try to get a couple things. I'm gonna at least try to get the Stoney Shaman's Corner done before Wednesday, and then Wednesday, hopefully I'll go in the store, be able to go to the store and get my Quest, so that I can just bring it home and try to get right to it. But if not, then, we'll shoot that video a couple days later, toward the end of the weekend, hopefully, maybe, I don't know. And the box from Kevin, our Don't Eat the Gum box, our final unboxing for now. Yeah, then we'll figure out what we're doing next month. So, yeah, thank you all for coming and hanging out, babies, and I'll see you in the next... I won't technically see you, but you know what I'm saying. I'll see you guys in the next one. Love you guys. Bye.